Hello, welcome everyone. Today we are discussing chapter 8 for scheduling resources costs. Okay, for project management, we are using uh, project management book by McGraw-Hill. This is owned by Larson and Frey in terms of the publisher and the author. Okay, all right, where we are here. This is where we are here. This is where we are at the scheduling resource costs. Okay, that's about a number of 10 objectives. Okay, let's start with the objective first. Let me just What are the objective? The first one is to understand the difference between time constraint and resource constraint of schedule. Identify number two, different type of resource constraint. Number three, and how to describe the shooting approach is used in on-time constraint project. Number four, describe how long the leveling approach is used for the resource constraint project. Number five, understand how the project management software creates resource constraint schedule. Number six, understand. Let me just move here to a little bit here. Number five, clear resource constraint schedule. Number six, understand when the splitting tasks should be avoided. Number seven, individual guidelines for scheduling specific tasks. Number eight, identifying the common problems with multi-project user schedule. Number nine, explain why the time phases budget baseline is needed. Number 10, create a time phase project baseline. Okay. There's quite a number of chapter outline here. There's 1 to 10. We're going to discuss this in step by step. Project planning process. Okay. Let's start with this. Project planning. Planners is scope WBS from a network to resource cost and master plan. There's a risk as well here. For 8.1, overview of the resource scheduling problem and priorities. Let me just move it here again. What are they? Project network times are scheduled until resources have been assigned. There are always more project proposals than there are available resources. Okay, resources is a key part because sometimes you don't have it. You have to outsource from third-party vendors. Okay, this happened in the past. Maybe when I was working in the bank, an insurance company in Canada here, resources outsourced to an IT company in somewhere overseas like India. The project priority team will add the new project only if the resources are available. The costing estimates are not budget until they have been time phased. Once resource assignment have been finalized, you are able to develop a baseline budget schedule for the project. Resource scheduling. There's a resource smoothing as well, involves attempting in even out the varying demands on resource by delaying the non-critical activities using slack or power peak resource demand and increase resource utilization when resources are adequate over the life of the project. Resource constraint scheduling occur when the resources are not adequate to meet peak demands. The result, some activities must be delayed and duration of the project may be increased. Type of project constraint, technical or logical constraints are related to network sequence in which project activity must occur. This constraint occurs when the absence, shortage, or unique interaction and interactions, characteristics, or resources require particular sequencing of project activities. Note that the resource dependency takes priority over the technological dependency but does not violate the technical dependency. The type of resource constraints such as people, materials, and equipment. This technical constraint is there. Plan A, purchase refreshment, decorate the hall, hire the bands, and goes to the reception. This is the technical constraint typical A. Resource constraint plan, hiring band, decorate hall, purchase refreshment, reception. That's its resource and it has its own phases. Okay. Number 3, objective classification of the scheduling problem. Time constraint project must be completed by imposed date. Time project duration is fixed, resources are flexible. If required, resources can be added to ensure the project is completed by a specific date. While a resource constraint project is assumed that the level of resources available cannot be exceeded, resources are fixed and time is flexible. If the resources are inadequate, it will be acceptable to delay the project. Consult project priority metric determine the project time is if the project is time or resource constraint. For the resource allocation method, there's a limiting assumptions. Splitting activities will not be allowed. Splitting refers to the interruption of work on one task and assigning the resources to work on a different task for a period of time, then reassigning them again to work on original task. Therefore, resources are used for an activity that cannot be changed. There is assumptions Activity with more slack poses at least a risk. Reduce the flexibility does not increase the risk. The nature of activities such as easy or complex does not increase the risk. Time constraint project example must be completed by an imposed date. Focus on the resource allocation because use of resource smoothing technique and that balance the demand for resources. That's what happens. This is time constraint project. And in the case when I was doing an IFRS 17 project, it has to be completed within the 2 years. Okay, because it's regulatory, it's mandatory. So all the resource of the company has been pulled to complete that on time. Because if not, it will be subject to fine by the regulatory body. Leveling smoothing techniques. Delay non-activities by using positive slack to reduce peak demand and fill to the value of the resources without delaying the entire project. Goal of smoothing resource demand: reduce the peak demand for the resources, reduce the number of resources over the life of the project, minimize fluctuations of the resource demand. Downsides of smoothing resource demand: loss of flexibility that exists from reducing slack, creates an activity or non-critical activity because of the slack reductions. Botanical garden example here, such as design, layout, all the way. This is again chart showing up where this has to be in terms of the months, okay? And then number of backholes required is the same thing, okay? Same thing here, sextol required is all the Gantt charts required for you guys, okay? All right. And then let's look at the resource constraint project. Resources are limited to quantity and co-availability acting as schedule in terms of heuristic rules, rule of thumb, following the priority resource such as minimum slack, small slack, least durations, lowest activities, identifying initial number. Parallel method is used to apply heuristic. Parallel method is a technical process that starts from the beginning of the project time when the resources needed exceeded the resource available. It activities first by the priority rule. Example here. This is an example of the project, what has to be done. Okay. Okay, let's look at the example here. Going into the resource constraint. Okay, the detail of the project. And then 8.5, the EMR project. The developer, this is a computer machine of resource constraint schedule. Okay. EMR project in the form of handheld abstract medical reference guide to be used for emergency medical technicians and paramedics. There's quite a resource problem. Only 8 design engineers can be assigned to the project due to the shortage of design engineers and commitment to other projects. The peak demand is 21 design engineers. That's a good to give you an example of the limitation. Here architectural declaration, internal space, all the way external space, feature space. This is a typical EMR project network view and scheduling from voice, cases, database, microphone, digital, computer, and review design. And then look at here an example of the resource required for EMR from architectural internal start to finish, give you the deadline, state, start, finish, late start, late finish, free slack, total slack stack. So to give you an idea what has to be done. Okay, project constraint is the same thing. Design engineers is 3,024 hours from architectural decisions all the way to the review design. This gives you a detail of hours required from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it's all scheduled. If there's a delay, then it has a multiplier effect to the rest of the work. Resource loading charts on the AML project from January 15 to 23rd from 900 design over allocated, which is the blue one, the black one is allocated one, okay? And then this is another project network view of the resources level, give you an idea of what it is. Okay, from the feature design, from project here, there's an internal, external, as well as feature specs, all the way from the voice, case, computer HD, as well as the review design. They give you the detailed duration of 5 days here. Engineering is almost 500% there. And so project resources give you an idea where the project resources are, level up, tasks, and the things that they are required, okay? The impact of resource constraint scheduling due to reduced slack, reduced flexibility, increase the number of critical and non-critical activities, increase the scheduling complexity because the resource constraint, are added to the technical constraint, may take traditional critical paths, no longer meaningful, can break the sequence and leave the network with self-distributing activities, may cause prior activities to become sequential, can change as well activity from critical to non-critical. Number 6, splitting activities. Splitting tasks is a scheduling technique used to get better project schedule in order to increase resource utilization. It involves interrupting the work and sending resource to another activities for a period of time and having the resource resume work on original activities. Can be useful if the work involved does not include large start up and shutdown costs. It's considered a major reason why project fails to meet the schedule. Example splitting activities. Here, activity duration splitting activity A, B, or C. Activity duration split to 3 segment A, B, or C. There's a shutdown and startup, and shutdown and startup. Benefit of scheduling resources, leave time for considering additional active alternatives such as cost-time trade-off, changes in priorities, provide the information needed to prepare time-phase work, package budget with dates to gauge the impact of unforeseen event, as well as to assess how the flexibility over the certain resources. Okay, assigning project work, reason why we would not always assign the best people in the most difficult tasks. Best people resent the fact that they are always given the toughest assignment. That's for the best people. Less experienced practitioners resent the fact that they are never given the opportunity to expand their skill knowledge base. Factors to be considered for deciding who should work together. Minimize unnecessary tensions. The key. Complement each other. Experienced veterans team up with the new hires to give you at least to give a walkthrough of what's to be done. And features need have the weak people to work together early so that they become familiar with each other. In the multi-project resource schedule, problems with multi-project environment, there's an overall schedule slippage. That's all happens all the time. In many of the projects I've been involved, there's always slippages because one of the team member may not be able to do so, or there's any technical issues that has to be done. Share resources cause ripple effect. Delay in one project create delay in another project. That's the key part. Inefficient resource utilization, different schedule and requirement by multi-project create the peaks and valley with the overall resource demands. Number 3, resource bottlenecks. Shortest critical resources are required by multi-project, cause delay in schedule extensions. Managing multi-project scheduling. Create project offices, department to oversee the scheduling of resources across multiple projects. Use project priority queuing system for come first served basis. Treat the individual project as part of the one big project and adopt scheduling heuristics as this mega project. Utilize project management software to prioritize resource allocation. Hire temporary workers to effect certain activities that are falling behind schedule. And then let me just go back. Contract project works during peak hours. There are insufficient resources to meet demands of all projects. Number 10, using the resources scheduled to develop a project cost baseline. Why a time phase project line is needed is basically to determine if the project is on or ahead or behind schedule or over or under its budgeted cost. Okay, to assess how much work has to be accomplished for allocated money spent for the project baseline. Okay, creating time phase budget, basically assigning each work package to one responsible person and department and deliverable. Compare plan, schedule, and cost using an integrated system called the earned value, as well as generate the cash flow and resources of each schedule. Okay, this is the direct labor law from the bottom all the way to the head each unit. Okay, from manufacturing side, design here to motor, circuit board, chassis frame, with time from external optical hardware. This is the distance total cost. Okay, this is the time for budget for labor cost only. Give you an idea of how much the task, the labor. Well, for example, 3 weeks cost $120. 120,000, not bucks. 120,000. This is a typical prototype. Okay. And then 2 times work phase schedule, the total cost 180,000. To give example 2 phases. 130,000 is 50, total 180,000. And then patient project network gives you an idea of the design all the way to entry forms and service entry codes, RFP program, and then call it initial date, establish accounting codes, program system, merge the date and codes, and then test the system over and over again. You need to redo tasks sometimes many times in order to make sure it works properly. Do also a stress test, okay, for the project. Patients entry time phase work project assigned from the design all the way in terms of weeks here at the top side of the budget at horizontal week budget is here in the thousands, and this is the current result of the budget. This is a example of project monthly cash flow statement. This you have to know this from hardware, January to July, from project hardware costs, operating system, utilities, the source system direction, totaling each month. In January, you got 37,200, while July you got 23,440. Okay, then give you an idea here. This is the project weekly resource use schedule. It's from Suzuki, for example. This is how much they spend. Lopez, how much he spent. Potts, how much he spent. Saxon is how much he spent. So give you an idea of each project. This is the key project weekly schedule in that environments. Okay, the key term that you need to understand for this particular chapter is heuristic, leveling, plan value, resource constraint project, resource constraint scheduling, resource smoothing, splitting, times constraint project, and time phase budget baseline. So going on to the next one. This is basically the McGraw-Hill, okay, by chapter. Okay, this is a game, give you the backside here, give you an idea, a resource constraint schedule, all the in detail, okay. The first one, period, from activity node to all the way, from point 1 here, ES, early scheduling, to all the way to the 14 weeks, okay. And it's another alternative all the way in details, okay. Alternative here, there's another as well. In terms of resource added, the task alternative, the task name here, the task name, in terms of start and finish, their time, late start, late finish, free stack, and total slack, give you an idea of how much time planning has to be done. Then resource chart, project 15 to 23rd, this is an example of what's going on. In terms of design engineering 1 on the 15th, and then how many percent is allocated. And then on the source level, stacks alternative from 1 to 13, task name is all provided here. Okay, the type of labor cost only give you an idea from budget cost $120 for this particular project. This is a time phase labor cost budget labor cost only. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Time phase package budget labor cost only from code 1 resources give you an idea. Total labor cost 180,000. This is a development software. Okay, guys, they have programs here. System program is cost you 50,000. System program 180,000. Total 180,000. Give you the detail. So that's basically conclude this chapter. This is much detail in spreadsheet, and you can also review back again in the Edpuzzle as well as in YouTube. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.